We'll continue to get some more condolences then with regards to Andrew Mlangeni's passing. Of course, he was the last surviving Rivonia Trialist. Let's speak now to comrade Ronnie Kasrils, who of course knew him very well as well. Mr. Kasrils, thank you so much for the time. Shall we talk very quickly just about how sad a day this certainly must be even for yourself?
It's a very sad day indeed. It's quite devastating. Of course, he lived a very long, rich and rewarding life. I mean, to live to the age of 95, but still it comes as an enormous shock. He was a most lovely, gentle, modest person. And, of course, one of the last remaining survivors of the Rivonia trial. His background was working class to the core. People should recall that at a very young age, he was 18, 19 when he became a bus driver. And it was not long after that he became involved in politics with Mandela Sisulu and company right through the mass mobilization of the 50s, and was seen to be so reliable that, as I heard, and that was, of course, for a lot of folks at his expense, people like Joe Modise, John and Kadameng, and so on, used to say that he was so dependable that they called him Comrade Reliable. They had other funny nicknames which denoted the reliability of the person. They said you could give Andrew Mlangeni the simplest or the most difficult task, he would be sure to accomplish it, no matter how arduous or dangerous. And this is why when they looked around for somebody to carry out a mission, they went to Mr. Dependability, Comrade Reliability. And I'd say they had some funny nicknames as well in relation to that. I got to know him early on in Umkhonto where he came to Durban with Joe Modise, and they were ferrying dynamite, which we provided, back up to Johannesburg. We know of what happened in people need to remember that he was dreadfully tortured, beaten, given electric shock treatments, and he never opened his mouth. He never gave any secret away. It was Mr. Reliability. And that was the golden thread running through the life of Andrew Mlangeni, right through that long, arduous period of imprisonment, and then in terms of Free South Africa, as a member of Parliament, as a committed, loyal, devoted member of the ANC, as a man who spoke against corruption, who was an epitome of honesty and integrity and decency. And it's been so moving how people of his community, and he's one of those who remained in Soweto, where he grew up and where he lived right to the end, how he's been an anchor for that community. I was in tears as I was watching the TV tributes now, and the people of that neighborhood talking about what he was. I mean, you could see he was an anchor to the family, and commiserations to Comrade Sello and the whole family, and an anchor to that community, as he's been an anchor to the people of this country. So one looks forward, because the life that he lived is something that imbues us with strength and dedication and a commitment to serve the people and not be totally involved in making money and fame and fortune for oneself. He stands as an epitome, as an example against that. It was a golden life that he led and a heritage that he leaves us. Comrade Reliability, Comrade Andrew, our dear beloved comrade, friend, rest in peace.
Mr. Kasrils, just very finally, perhaps your message to the family and also the legacy he leaves behind.
Well, the message to the family is we are with you, Sello, and your whole family. Your father leaves an important legacy, which I've referred to, which imbues our people with the example of how we must help one another, how we must serve the people. And I want to thank you again and remind the listeners, come to legacy, in terms of Comrade Andrew's internationalism, his solidarity with people all over the world striving for a better life, and how unstintingly he's been in this last month. When I asked you if you could get your father to sign a pledge of solidarity to the Palestinian people, an endorsement to the call that they've made against the Trump-Netanyahu axis of annexing a third of the West Bank, and you came back to me with your father's signature and his commitment to that cause. So this is something our people should bear in mind as well, that commitment to international solidarity.
Mr. Kasrils, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for those words, those kind words really for the family and to the family and indeed to the rest of South Africa as we commemorate, give condolence and still celebrate the life of the anti-apartheid veteran who has unfortunately left us now, Andrew Mlangeni.